Okay, it is Wednesday, July 3rd, 2019. I went to the shop and ended up, I got the last Nova up to the shop, and my son called me, and I ended up helping him put a pinion seal in his Jeep, and we put a tow hitch. It's 5,000 pound tow hitch in there or something like that. But anyway, he's got a Jeep Grand Cherokee, like a 96 model or something like that. Excuse me if I'm not watching the camera, I'm watching traffic, so I pull out here because it's lunchtime, so it's basically the busiest time of day here. And nobody wants to give you a chance. And this butthole just pulled out and like it's gonna do a left turn and made a right turn into the turning lane, so I can't get out. So now I gotta wait on all the traffic and more traffic coming from the left because he wanted to be a weenie. Okay, I got a clear enough shot to get out of here now. Anyway, I'm going around town. I gotta get some tape to mark my cuts. I'm gonna have to cut some extra metal out of the thing, so I'm gonna have to take my time and do a really good job of it. So I won't be using the grinding wheel to cut it because it doesn't like to cut very straight, or I'm not holding it right or something, or I'm not holding my mouth right or something, I don't know. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, in order to put my fender well in, I'm gonna have to cut up a lot higher, and I think what I'm gonna do is measure on my outer wheel housing to see how tall it is up to the flange weld, and then go from there. Because basically what's going on is I'm replacing the outer wheel housing, and then the metal that I'm welding to isn't as thick as the metal I'm welding. How am I trying to say this? The metal I'm welding to isn't as thick as the metal I'm welding to it. I think I said that right. No. I lost my train of thought now. Anyway, I've got to. Oh, I got it now. After thinking about what I was saying, the metal piece I'm welding in, okay, is the outer fender around the wheel well, and the wheel well, the outer wheel housing is actually taller than the piece of the fender that I got to put in there, and I've got to replace I want to replace the whole outer wheel housing. I don't want to just kind of piece it in there and make it work because it looks like crap. It's only for me, but I want to do it as right as I possibly can. And I'm looking at it, and I'm gonna have to cut up higher into the fender on each side of the wheel well than the wheel well is tall. So what I have to do is cut a piece out up high enough to get that piece, you know, the wheel well all the way in there, you know, get it all cut out and like I need to. And then I've got to piece it back in there. I don't know if I'm going to use a backing on it or if I'm just going to butt weld it. You know, my buddy who is the body man says use a backing plate on it. It's pretty much in there where nobody's going to see it. And I was, well, it's kind of in there where nobody's going to see it. Come on. I can't really, you know, I won't be opening my trunk for every Tom, Dick, and Harry that wants to see my body work. But I don't want to put a backing plate in it because, you know, all the extra metal that's there, and you'll be able to see it, and where I'm welding it'll probably look like crap, but I'm gonna have to put enough in there to help me hold it in place and help hold back on some of the warpage. But if I put that in there, then I'm gonna have to figure out how to cover it up, and I don't want to figure out how to cover it up. That's what I'm trying to get at. I want to just weld it, be able to grind as much as possible where, you know, it can't be seen, and then cover it up with the trunk liner. After that, you know, it's anybody's guess as to what I did. But anyway, I've got to cut out my piece and then leave enough in there for it to be flanged. But then I got to cut out that extra piece. Come on. And leave enough in there so when I butt it back up to the top, it's going to be where it's supposed to, and then I can flange it and you know, and or cut out what I need to see if it's actually going to fit. So what I did is I went and got a couple of rolls of tape, automotive grade, and one of them's 1 inch and one of them's 3/4. Well, I think the flange tool flanges 1 inch. So what I did is I drew lines around the piece that I'm cutting out, and I'll put the tape inside those lines. I'm gonna go into Walmart right quick and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. What I was getting at is I'm gonna put a piece of 1 inch tape around the inside of the line I've got to cut out for my repair patch, and I've got to cut 1 inch, at least 1 inch inside that where that repair patch sets, because you flange the metal and then it gives the patch a place to sit. So so you can weld it up, and it's actually a stronger type patch to do it that way. And what I'm thinking about doing is on the top, cutting it 2 inches low, putting 2 rows of tape up there. That way, when I cut the top piece out, I also have a 1-inch flange place on the top to flange that too. But here's the issue with that. On the Nova, there's a body line. It's not a hard body line, it's a round line, but it's not something I want to deal with because round lines are hard. If it's a square body line, it's a square body line. They're pretty easy to deal with. Or a pointed out body line. This one's just kind of a curve in the body, and if you move that up an inch, you move the whole curve up an inch. So I really got to look at what I'm doing before I do it. And I may just flange it, or I may just cut the piece out and then butt weld it to it, and then that leaves me the flange. It's going to be hard. Because whatever I cut on that top piece, there's not going to be a piece of flange metal to go in there. What I could do is on one of my other Novas, if there's not too much Bondo up there, cut that piece out of the other Nova. The the depth that I need, and then I'd have exactly what I need. So it's all I've got to look at everything. I'll have to do the same thing I did on this one, put the fender well in there and mark the damn thing out, and then cut out. Basically what I'll do is I'll cut the patch the same size as the fender well, or the patch panel that I have. That way I can get everything in there. I'm gonna ease up here because I got to take off before this guy and get ahead of him before I get to a certain place. I don't normally drive like that, but I got kind of stuck in a predicament because it's lunchtime. And of course he thinks I'm racing. But anyway, I can do that depending on what shape those quarters are. There's one car that I can cut to pieces, and it just happens to be the one with the most Bondo on it. So really got to watch what I'm doing with this car because of that. So anyway, I got to stop at a couple of places up here and see if I can find me some weld through primer and stuff like that. If not, I'll just weld it on there and not worry about priming it. They did all this mess before there was weld through primer, so maybe I'll get lucky and find some, but I don't absolutely have to have it. But anyway, I'm here at O'Reilly's to see if I can find some of that. If I can't find some of that, then I'm done. I don't need to look for nothing else. I'll just go to the shop and do what I gotta do and go from there. But all right, I'll be right back. Okay, I didn't find what I needed at O'Reilly's. Apparently it ain't a paint store. They ain't gonna have what I need, or an actual automotive store. I can't find any paint through or not paint through, weld through primer anywhere in this town. So I guess I'm gonna have to do it without a weld through primer and just make sure I get it good and covered when I get everything done. I did find, I'm gonna go to one more place to see if I can find it, but I gotta get my wife's medicine. I can hit that other place on the way back to the house. I probably won't go back to the shop till later this evening. It's getting pretty warm out there. There's no wind, and then humidity's acting like it's pretty high, so only been gone about 2.5 hours. I'm about to get hungry. She's got some pork loin fixed yesterday at the house. I may wait till I get home and grab some of that. Know one thing I didn't do while I was out at Walmart, one of the main reasons I went out there was to get a cooler, and I forgot. I think I have a cooler at the house, so I'm gonna grab a small bottle of bleach. And dump whatever's in there out, throw that bleach in there and fill it full of water. That way I can kill all the mold and mildew that might be in it. It was my ex-son-in-law's. And just left it at the house with everything in it. I think I may have gave it to my son, I don't know. I'll have to look. See if it's still in my carport. That way I can have a cold drink at my shop. My son has a refrigerator, small refrigerator, and I told him, well, so we don't really need that. Okay, my wife called, and I got cut short, so I you know, had a shiny moment. I'm gonna have to figure out where I was. Oh, I was out of town looking for stuff. I guess that's where I was. Anyway, I didn't find half of what I needed. I did find some of what I needed, and I probably bought stuff I didn't need. So, you know, it is what it is. Couldn't find no primer, which means there's probably not any here. You might find some of that at a welding supply. So, you know, I've got one more place to stop, other than the other one place I was gonna stop. And they may have it. If they don't have it, I ain't gonna worry about it. In fact, I may not worry about it anyway. But anyway, like I said, on the one Nova I have there, you know, everything above the fenders on these cars is pretty much okay where I'm gonna need it at. So I'll just have to mark out, you know, where my fenders are gonna be, and then I'm gonna have to go up, you know, so far and cut so much off, and then I can go from there. I think I'll be all right. If I do it that way, I should be in pretty good shape. anyway, that's all I got for now, and I'll get back on this afternoon when it starts cooling off. When I get up to the shop and I get started on that passenger side fender, like I said, I did get the floor pans ordered, and they finally shipped this morning, so it's going to be the 8th or the 9th before they show up. So, you know, I've got plenty of content to keep me busy until then. The Nova that I'm gonna be cutting the patches out of, you know, that I'm gonna need if I can, has the front brakes and everything that I'm gonna need. So, you know, I'll go with that. And anyway, I'm here at the store, and I'm gonna get my wife's medicine, and I'm probably gonna grab me some tortillas that I don't need, and go home and have some lunch, and then I'll see how I feel after lunch, whether I need to go to the shop now or not. I'd like to get a little bit more done. I will be staying up there pretty late tonight because of that, because I go to work tomorrow night, so I've only got the 2 nights to work on it, and I haven't done anything really on it yet. I did cut some stuff out of it to take a look at it, yeah, but not a lot, you know, just to see what I need to do. So anyway, I'll see y'all later. Okay, I stopped at the grocery store. Apparently my wife's prescription hadn't been called in for why I don't know, but I'm on my way home. I got some groceries and headed home. Forgot to stop at either of the other places that I could get some paint through primer from, so I'm just gonna do without. I'm gonna look up how to use this other stuff, and it's a rust converter. You know, it converts the rust more or less to a primer, and see what I can do with it. If I can't put Bondo over it, I'm gonna have to figure something else out. I should be able to, but I've got to clean everything up real good. And anyway, I'll read about it when I get home, or when I get up to the shop and figure out how to use it, and blah 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 blah, and we'll go from there. I don't think it's mail time yet, so won't stop at the mailbox. Boy, I just can't talk right now. I don't know what, you know, I just keep forgetting what I'm talking about and stare off into space, you know. Anyway, I'm gonna go in here. I must be hungry. I'm gonna go in here and eat a bite and see how I feel after that. We'll catch y'all later.